For centuries, humanity has looked up to the stars, weaving myths, legends, and spiritual beliefs around celestial phenomena. Across cultures and continents, ancient civilizations worshipped gods who descended from the skies, wielding mysterious powers and bestowing advanced knowledge. In recent decades, some theorists have proposed a radical reinterpretation of these stories, suggesting that the deities of old might not have been mythical figures or symbolic metaphors, but actual visitors from distant worlds. This controversial and captivating hypothesis, known as the ancient astronaut theory, poses a fundamental question. Were the gods our ancestors revered actually extraterrestrial beings? The ancient astronaut theory gained widespread attention in the 20th century, particularly through the work of authors like Erich von Däniken, who in 1861 wrote a book called Chariots of the Gods. His 1968 book, Chariots of the Gods, proposed that many ancient structures, technologies, and myths pointed to contact with advanced alien civilizations. Von Däniken and others suggested that these extraterrestrial beings were mistaken for gods due to their technological superiority. Flying machines mistaken for chariots of fire, energy weapons seen as divine wrath, and scientific knowledge perceived as magical or godlike. While mainstream archaeology and history reject this interpretation, citing a lack of empirical evidence and emphasizing the capabilities of ancient human societies, the theory remains popular among alternative historians, sci-fi enthusiasts, and curious minds. It invites us to re-examine ancient records, religious texts, and archaeological sites through a speculative yet thought-provoking lens. One of the most compelling bodies of evidence cited by ancient alien theorists comes from the Sumerians, one of the earliest known civilizations, flourishing in Mesopotamia over 5,000 years ago. The Sumerians left behind extensive records on clay tablets, many of which describe the Anunnaki, a group of powerful deities who descended from the heavens. According to Sumerian myth, the Anunnaki played a direct role in the creation of humanity, supposedly engineering humans to serve them. Proponents of the ancient astronaut theory argue that these descriptions are too specific and technological to be dismissed as metaphor. The idea that the Anunnaki came from a planet called Nibiru, possibly in a long elliptical orbit, adds to the alien speculation. In this view, the gods were astronauts who brought with them science, language, agriculture, and mathematics, seeding civilization itself. Ancient Egypt, with its monumental architecture and complex religious beliefs, is another frequent subject of alien intervention theories. The Egyptian pantheon was closely tied to the cosmos. Gods like Ra, the sun deity who traveled through the sky in a celestial bark, and Thoth, the god of knowledge, are often portrayed as descending from or traveling to the heavens. Some researchers point to the precision with which the Great Pyramid of Giza is aligned with celestial bodies, such as Orion's Belt and the North Star, as evidence of astronomical knowledge far beyond what ancient humans were supposedly capable of. The theory posits that such precision could have come from extraterrestrial assistance, or at least guidance. Moreover, the concept of gods descending from the stars is embedded in the language and art of ancient Egypt. The pharaohs themselves were regarded as semi-divine, often depicted receiving wisdom or tools from gods who arrived from the sky. Could these be veiled references to alien visitors? Traveling across the Atlantic, ancient Mesoamerican civilizations also provide tantalizing clues. The Maya, Aztec, and Olmec cultures all venerated deities associated with the sky, stars, and advanced knowledge. Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god of the Aztecs, was said to have arrived from the east, taught people agriculture, astronomy, and writing, and then returned to the sky on a serpent-shaped vehicle. In Mayan mythology, the Popol Vuh describes the creation of man and interactions with powerful beings that seem to have otherworldly characteristics. Their calendar system, astronomical accuracy, and pyramid-like temples align strikingly with celestial bodies. The Temple of Kukulkan in Chichen Itza, for instance, is constructed so that during the equinox, the shadow of a serpent slithers down its steps, a design that suggests advanced understanding of solar patterns. Ancient alien theorists argue that these civilizations' cosmic focus wasn't just religious or symbolic, it was a direct reflection of real contact with beings from the stars who imparted knowledge before vanishing or ascending once more. India's ancient Vedic texts, some of the oldest sacred literature on Earth, are filled with descriptions of flying machines called vimanas, epic wars involving energy weapons, and gods who travel between realms. In the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, gods and heroes soar across the skies in fiery chariots, wield weapons that resemble modern missiles, and even engage in battles that some interpret as resembling nuclear warfare. The ancient alien hypothesis takes these accounts literally. Could the Vimanas have been spacecraft? Were the godlike figures described in these epics actually visitors from other planets, demonstrating technology far beyond the time? Interestingly, the detailed technical descriptions of some Vimanas even include dimensions, propulsion mechanisms, and construction materials. Mainstream scholars interpret these stories as allegory and religious myth, but ancient astronaut proponents see them as distorted memories of real technological events witnessed by early humans and recorded in the only language they had, that of myth and poetry. The Dogon people of Mali, West Africa, have long fascinated both anthropologists and ancient alien theorists alike. This relatively isolated tribe possesses complex astronomical knowledge, particularly about the Sirius star system. They described Sirius as a binary star system long before modern telescopes confirmed this in the 20th century. According to Dogon oral tradition, this knowledge was given to them by beings called the Nomo, amphibious entities who came from Sirius. Ancient alien theorists interpret the Nomo as extraterrestrial visitors who shared astronomical insights far beyond the capabilities of a pre-modern tribe. Skeptics suggest that contact with Western astronomers in the 1930s may explain the knowledge, but the debate remains unresolved. The Dogon case serves as one of the most cited examples of how oral traditions might preserve ancient interactions with non-human intelligences, interpreted as gods or spirits, but possibly much more. Throughout the world, there are many megalithic structures whose construction continues to puzzle historians and engineers. Sites like Puma Punku in Bolivia, Baalbek in Lebanon, and the Moai statues of Easter Island feature massive stones cut with incredible precision and moved with methods that remain unclear even today. The scale and accuracy of these constructions have led many to speculate about outside assistance, possibly from extraterrestrials. At Puma Punku, for instance, the H-shaped stone blocks fit together like interlocking Lego pieces, carved from incredibly hard stone and transported over vast distances. The tools required for such stonework seem absent in the archaeological record. Was this simply forgotten human ingenuity, or the residue of alien engineering? Similarly, the Nazca lines of Peru, massive geoglyphs etched into the desert, are only fully visible from the air. Theories abound that these were either created as messages to sky beings or designed for beings who could observe them from above. While traditional archaeologists suggest ceremonial or astronomical purposes, the idea of them being landing markers for alien craft is certainly more dramatic. Even in Abrahamic traditions, there are curious descriptions that fuel ancient astronaut theories. In the Hebrew Bible, the prophet Ezekiel famously describes a vision of a wheel within a wheel descending from the heavens, surrounded by fire and accompanied by beings with multiple faces. Some have interpreted this vision as a spacecraft, with Ezekiel trying to describe an encounter with technology using the limited vocabulary of his time. The Book of Enoch, an ancient Jewish text not included in the standard biblical canon, speaks of the Watchers, heavenly beings who descended to Earth, took human wives, and taught humanity various arts and sciences. These fallen angels were punished for their rebellion, but their legacy left a mark on human civilization. Again, ancient alien theorists view this as another echo of alien contact, the Watchers being extraterrestrials, perhaps genetically altering or hybridizing humans. In Christianity, the concept of angels descending from the sky, performing miracles, and ascending again fits neatly within this speculative framework. Could these divine beings have been advanced alien entities operating in human prehistory? Of course, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The ancient astronaut theory is heavy on speculation and light on definitive proof. Critics argue that it underestimates the capabilities of ancient peoples and disrespects their achievements by attributing their ingenuity to aliens rather than human innovation. The Great Pyramid, for example, may have been the product of massive human labor, advanced, though now lost, engineering techniques, and brilliant planning, not extraterrestrial instruction. Moreover, there's the problem of physical evidence. No alien artifacts have been conclusively found, no remains of spacecraft or tools. Much of the ancient alien argument relies on reinterpretation of myths, symbolism, and archaeological anomalies. Fascinating, yes, but not definitive. Still, others argue that our standards of evidence might be too rigid. If a superior civilization wanted to influence human development without leaving overt traces, perhaps they succeeded. Or perhaps our understanding of history is still too limited to recognize the signs. Whether you view it as pseudo-history or a plausible alternative narrative, the theory of ancient alien worship continues to captivate. It challenges the orthodox view of human development and invites us to see our past not as isolated from the cosmos, but perhaps deeply entangled with it. Why do so many ancient cultures point to the stars when speaking of their gods? Why do myths across oceans speak of beings descending from the heavens, bringing knowledge and then vanishing? Are these merely archetypes of human psychology or echoes of forgotten encounters? In a universe teeming with billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars, the idea that we were visited, and perhaps even guided, by intelligent beings is not as outlandish as it once seemed. The search for truth, whether grounded in archaeology, astronomy, or imagination, continues. Whether gods or aliens or something in between, the mystery of our ancient sky visitors continues to inspire wonder, and may one day reveal its answers among the stars.